Imagine moving into your dream home. Everything's perfect. And then you realize there's a petty little dictator running your entire neighborhood. Our HOA president, let's call him Todd. This guy fined people for everything. Grass too long by an inch? Fine. Mailbox slightly crooked? Fine. Holiday lights too bright? Believe it or not, fine. This man lived for the power. And he had one homeowner he targeted more than anyone else. But that homeowner, he didn't blow up. He didn't fight back right away. He sat back and he planned. And what he came up with, it wasn't just revenge. It was an endless, perfectly legal nightmare for Todd. This is based on a true story. Let's get into it. So Todd had been HOA president for years. And I mean, this guy ran the neighborhood like it was his own personal kingdom. He enforced rules nobody ever voted on, fined neighbors hundreds of dollars over nothing, threatened liens on people's homes if they didn't pay up. And our guy, we'll call him Jake, got hit the hardest. He got fined for having a basketball hoop in his driveway because Todd called it an eyesore. His kid drew with chalk on their own driveway. Fined. He had a quiet little BBQ one weekend with a few friends. Todd hit him with an excessive noise violation. And every single time, Todd would just smirk at him and say, "Rules are rules," like he was enjoying it, because he was. Now Jake paid every fine, didn't argue, didn't cause a scene. But here's what Todd didn't know. Jake started reading. He pulled up the HOA bylaws. Not just skimming them, he read every single page, every clause, every subsection. And buried in those pages, he found something beautiful. Todd, the guy who loved enforcing rules on everyone else, wasn't following them himself, not even close. But Jake was smart about it. He didn't march up to Todd and call him out. That would have been satisfying for about 5 minutes and then gone nowhere. Instead, he joined the board. Quietly, started showing up to meetings, sitting in the back, taking notes, learning every loophole in the system. And Todd, his ego was so massive he didn't even see it coming. He thought nobody in that neighborhood would ever have the guts to challenge him. That was his biggest mistake. Jake started small. He proposed minor changes, just making some rules clearer, tightening up language, nothing threatening. Got a few allies on his side, people who were also sick of Todd but too afraid to say anything. Then he started digging deeper. And what he found was gold. Todd's own property had violations all over it. An oversized shed built without any permit, paint color on his house that was never approved by the board. And it got worse. When Jake looked into the finances, missing meeting minutes, questionable spending from HOA dues, money going places nobody could explain. Todd had been so busy playing king that he forgot his own castle was made of glass. So once Jake had enough influence on the board, he flipped the entire script. Every tiny violation Todd had been ignoring on his own property, now officially enforced. The shed with no permit, $200 fine. Faded trim that didn't meet standards, $100. And these weren't made up charges like Todd used to pull. These were real violations of the same bylaws Todd loved waving in everyone's face. Jake's allies on the board, they voted yes on every single one. Todd had two choices, pay up or fix everything out of pocket. Either way, expensive. And Todd absolutely lost it. He showed up to the next meeting red in the face, screaming, "This is personal, you're targeting me." And Jake, he just sat there, calm, didn't raise his voice, didn't flinch, looked Todd dead in the eye and said, "I'm just following the rules you love so much." The whole room went quiet. A few neighbors tried to hide their smiles. Some didn't even bother hiding it. Years of frustration finally getting payback, and it was all completely by the book. The fines kept stacking, week after week. Hundreds, turning into thousands. Todd tried to fight them, but couldn't, because they were legitimate. He tried getting a lawyer involved, but the bylaws were airtight. Jake had made sure of that. Every rule Todd had used to bully his neighbors was now a weapon pointed right back at him. And the beautiful part? There was nothing he could do about it. Not a single thing. Eventually, Todd just broke. The fines, the legal fees piling up, the fact that nobody respected him anymore. Neighbors who used to keep their heads down were openly pushing back now. The guy who thought he was untouchable sold his house, packed up, left the neighborhood for good. Last anyone heard, he moved somewhere far away, probably terrorizing a new neighborhood. But honestly, that's their problem now. And Jake, he didn't try to become the new Todd. He didn't let the power go to his head. Once things were fixed, once the HOA was actually fair and running the way it should have been all along, he stepped down, quietly, just like he started. The neighborhood got better. People actually liked living there again. No more petty fines for chalk drawings. No more threats over mailboxes. Just normal. And that's the thing. Jake didn't do any of this out of hate. He did it for the neighborhood, for every person who was was scared to push back against a bully with a clipboard. For every family that got fined over nonsense and just had to take it. Sometimes, revenge isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's patient. It's rule by rule, page by page, meeting by meeting. You take the bully's own game and you beat him at it. Slowly, legally, completely. So what about you? You ever dealt with an HOA nightmare? Some power-tripping neighbor who thought they ran everything? Tell me about it in the comments. I genuinely want to hear these stories. And if you enjoyed this one, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because I've got a lot more true revenge stories coming, and they only get crazier from here. Thanks for watching. Stay petty and stay smart.